Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the hills we go, laughing all the way. Hop, 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 bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, thank y'all for coming. In the world the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. In heaven and nature sing. In heaven and nature sing. In heaven and nature sing.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Bill.
I wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right.
Well, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven nature sing. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. We'll sing Jingle Bells. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the hills we go, laughing all the way. Hop, 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 bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
Wish you a Merry
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right. We hate to run and leave.
I do have it on my leg and I sneezed and it fell off and hit my dressing room. Oh Lord, I don't go to the mall. Hey, that's for the ghetto people. The ghetto.
He does.
I got my gum stuck.
Oh, this one's too easy,
I'm
George.
just gonna have
Yeah, I know.
Oh!
It's no fun anymore.
I really don't want to
We gotta go over next to McCants.
McDonald's ain't that quiet. Oh, yeah, boy.
Yeah.
got a girlfriend?
My dad, oh, BMW.
Oh my gosh, Danielle! Your shoes are so cool. Where'd you get them?
Hang on, car. Hang on.
They're called Crocs. They're called Crocs. They're called Crocs.
I killed an alligator and made him poor.
Plastic alligator.
Oh, Bill. He always had to wear shoes.
Well, that was no fun.
I heard the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Hey, Courtney.
Where's Alex Terry?
Crystal likes to tell you what
Bill.
What's the
Hey, Matt. I'm going to order.
4 periods.
Too bad, they've already gone there.
No, I mean, you had second
So we're going back to the
I had second. Yeah, I had second lunch.
Look at that little black head. It depends on what I'm doing. It's a hallway. He's got one. Wait, honey, do you get a I still have that Christmas tree. It depends on what the hallway's on.
This is not working.
I don't know what.
I don't know why they insist on parking right where I need to be.
What's the one whose name? I forgot his name. Your wife's really tan and he has long brown hair. A block, we going up, bro. What? A block, 9 minutes. We have 7 minutes. The periods are only for 9 minutes.
I don't think you can make that.
Daniel, didn't you have his mailing?
Yeah. I love his
She was a germ freak.
She is a germ freak.
Oh, she loves me. That woman is a freaking germ freak. She went through a whole bottle of pizza puzzle today.
Ow. What?
Women's science teachers are really cute.
Oh, that don't.
Yeah.
That place they call school.
Yeah.
I'm surprised ain't no rats crawling around.
Please, let's get out of here.
Hell, I wouldn't want to go to Lakeside. Why not?
Lakeside, maybe you can't get out that way.
It might be better than Come on, you got a camera. You can just back the
Well, you just don't
Got
like
the
it
back to see it. It's been able to hit the right
That's
angle.
funny. I'm sorry. I haven't told him.
Yeah,
You're not hitting the
You know I'm going to reverse this and put it online.
plastic.
Talk about how good of a driver you are.
That's not macaroni you're tasting.
Alright, don't nobody say a word. We're about to jump a curve, and I know it.
That's what they call the football players who are stuck up in buttheads. Were you stuck up in a butthead? What? Good God! Hello.
Just said that. You're about to hit a flagpole too, it looks like.
Bill, you're going to kill us. Really.
Something's poking in my
Can I get out until you get done?
I'm gonna have a panic attack again. No, don't have a panic attack because your nose starts bleeding. Shut up! That was scary. You scared me, Hannah. I thought you were like, let's not dying. I can't help it. You scared the living crap out of me. Here we go. Here we go. Oh my God! Get out of here! Oh my gosh! Oh my dad. Okay. Look, I still have that Christmas tree. I would go home and put it on the Christmas tree. It doesn't match my room on.
What is that one over there? Did we go to the wrong nursing home?
My room's pink.
That right there was worth the whole trip for me.
My sister she has a comment?
Yeah, except for the curbs.
This is 40 feet long. Try hitting that thing with a 40-foot bus.
Yeah, she wrote me over there. Yeah, we're on our way back to church.
Fresh. That makes me laugh. I know you have to refill it. Sounds like it's digging. It's not going. Is it my worse? It's KK's dirt. It's just annoying me. No, that's not money. Here, okay. I keep the money. Yeah. The old ladies. Those women are. They're love me and Jordan. They can take one love.
Man, I remember
Hey, we just passed our property. They just need to burn that place down and start over. Can't burn something.
the guy I was paired up with didn't eat anything else.
Oh, I know. Hammer. That's like that hammer.
I ate like half of the pie.
Wait, what's it? We've had.
I ate.
Joy.
You know how all this you've used up 10 minutes of tape? Yeah.
You know when the door's open, you take behind you, I think. Remember you asked me something, I'm going to say.
I live dangerously.
Okay. I know you like my muscle.
Out of all this, we've used up 10 minutes of tape. And I recorded everything we've done.
That should be a good easy download.
Yes.
When I did, they fed me.
I'll edit it and make it a little longer.
There you go.
More.
We'll give it some action sequences driving back and forth from the nursing home.
This kid's trying to get
Put in some sound effects like
This kid's trying to
crashes.
That's trying to get me good. I said, I don't know you and you're ugly. Courtney. I don't know you.
And then they put it up.
Bigger pockets for bigger people. Oh, I love that.
I almost hated my life.
Are you okay? There's some 40 or something. I think I'm going to have to go because I can't go to the house.
They're hanging upside down.
They're moving starts.
Lutherans are having a Wednesday night service.
I'm probably already in there.
That's a cool stained glass
What
window.
movie starts? The one my mom and my daddy. Those are so awesome.
I like it when they like chicken out, especially when it's like a big buffalo.
72 Chevelle.
That thing is so bad. I get bored grand.
Chevelle.
Yeah. I'm ready to take this.
That one's $4.
Yeah, I know. It's more important. I'm just kidding. It's not, you know, I really is how it is.
Well, thank y'all for your help. Y'all did good tonight.
You're welcome.
You like this stuff, don't you?
Yeah. I wasn't even nervous.
Or whenever we do the elder feuds on Sunday nights, be sure you come.
When are we going to start doing that again?
Well, we'll start back in January. This night was kind of it for this month. Sunday night when we go visit.
We had to argue over where we were going to eat.
Actually,
Half of us wanted to go off house and everybody else wanted to go to
Oh yeah, you and Meg wanted to go to y'all wanted to go Roadhouse. Y'all wanted to go to Logan's. Nobody else had enough money.
Everybody else. Okay, everybody said that except for Will. And he didn't have no money to go anywhere.
We just need to be sure that we plan the place ahead of time too.
I went, well, most of us don't eat at Wendy's. That's not what we eat at Wendy's. I don't eat at Wendy's.
Why not?
It's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Their burgers and everything. It's just nasty. Yes, it's disgusting. Then we went to Publix. No, like nobody in my family eats there. I just don't eat a lot of burgers.
You can have burgers, you can have chicken, you can
And then we
have
called our parents.
salads, you can have chili.
Chili, that makes you go. Makes you do things.
That's fun.
How'd you get there? No, it's hard.
That's real fun.
Especially in a
Only
crowded
whenever the
bus.
covers are pulled tight.
I did it with my sister. And then I like we did the sheet and it like just kidding. Poor shame. What happened at Mark?
Great.
Ew, nasty, y'all. Where are we going?
Well, I'm trying to miss these cars.
We're not gonna make it. Oh my God. Go ahead and call the police and everything. Ambulance too.
George, living dangerously.
I called my daddy.
Oh, that was my knee.
Watch out for the camera.
I think I broke my pec. Ow, my knee.
Oh, great. Now this car's parked right where I need to be.
Yes. Ow. That should be like 10 years from now.
That's Chris. You might know he's done it all night.
Who's Chris?
The guy who's been following us in the car instead of riding with us for whatever reason.
Why didn't he ride with us?
I don't know.
That is Chris. There, we get there for breakfast. Oh, hello, Don. Watch out in this car there. I about hit it twice. I'd run.
Oh, I didn't mean to put it in front of your car.
I do my problems.
As long as you didn't hit the car.
Y'all's in the dust.
Hey, there should be snacks inside.
Hey, man, there is snacks.
Ow!
Just a little pressure.
You gotta be used to
Don't worry, if I mess up, everybody's.
If I mess up, don't worry, y'all will just laugh at me, right?
Yeah.
I teach high school, I ain't like that. Okay, I need some Bible people. Who wants to volunteer to read for you? Charlie, I love you, Charlie. Look up Isaiah 40, I want you to read 12 through 26.
You can turn in church.
I don't know who's checking off y'all's records. Are all y'all? Is somebody doing it? Y'all doing it in different classes? Who's doing the 9th grade? Okay, who's doing 10th grade? Who's doing 11th grade? Okay, anybody doing seniors? Okay. So we're under control. Okay, let's see. Carly's going to read. I need somebody. Okay, she's reading the long one. Who wants to read a short one?
What was it?
Isaiah 40, 12 through 26. Okay, I need somebody else to read Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. I need a volunteer. I'm going to draft somebody. Okay, Savannah volunteers.
Okay, what am I reading?
Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. Okay, and then I got a real short one, Romans 12, 1 through 2. Sarah. Y'all are so good. I knew we'd get along great.
Isaiah what?
Okay, you got Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. And we're not going to read it for a few minutes, so just hold it there. Sarah, you got Romans 12, 1 through 2. Carly, you got your 12 through 26. Okay, we are talking about developing your worldview. Does everybody know what a worldview is now that we watched the video?
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to explain it?
Outlook on life.
Huh?
Your outlook on life.
Your outlook on life. Okay, what are the 3 questions that the guy said usually go into your worldview?
Where you go.
Okay, where are you going? That's the last one. What's the first one?
Where you come from?
Where did we come from? What's the one in the middle?
Where you are.
Why are you here? So where do we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going? That's kind of 3 things that determine how we operate, aren't they? So we're kind of, the idea today behind the lesson is that our worldview needs to match up with God's worldview. Do y'all agree with that idea? Do you think our worldview is way different from God's worldview? I think it probably is. We can't begin to see the world like God sees it, can we? Okay, well, Carly's scripture is going to sort of explain how God looks at the world. So this is really, if you've got your Bible and you want to follow along, this is really an impactful scripture. That's probably not a word. But it's one that's, when I read it this morning, I'm like, wow, I've never really thought about that before.
Powerful.
Not this morning, yeah. Powerful, that's probably better than impactful. Impactful, though. Hey, you knew what I meant.
From Paul Webster.
Okay. Go, Carly.
Okay. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, or with the breadth of his hand marked off the heavens? Who has held the dust of the earth in a basket, or weighed the mountains on the scales and the hills in a balance? Who has understood the mind of the Lord, or instructed him as his counselor? Whom did the Lord consult to enlighten him? And who taught him the right way? Who was it that taught him knowledge, or showed him the path of understanding? Surely the nations are like a drop in a bucket. They are regarded as dust on the scales. He weighs the islands as though they were fine dust. Lebanon is not sufficient for altar fires, nor its animals enough for burnt offerings. Before him all the nations are as nothing. They are regarded by him as worthless and less than nothing. To whom then will you compare God? What image will you compare to him? As for an idol, a craftsman cast it, and a goldsmith overlays it with gold, and fashions silver chains for it. A man too poor to present such an offering selects wood that will not rot. He looks for a skilled craftsman to set up an idol that will not topple. Do you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have you not understood since the earth was founded? He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He brings princes to naught and reduces the rulers of the world to nothing. No sooner are they planted, no sooner are they sown, no sooner do they take root in the ground than he blows on them and they wither, and a whirlwind sweeps them away like a shaft. To whom will you compare me, or who is my equal, says the Holy One? Lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing.
So what are some differences between us and God? Did you get any of that? Look at the first few verses up there. I don't know if you're not in Isaiah 40 verse 12, then it may be hard for you to answer this. But it says, who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand and marked off the heavens with the span of his hand? Who has gathered the dust of the earth in a measure, or weighed the mountains in a balance, and the hills in scales? One thing that's different about us and God is pure size, don't you think? How big is God anyway? You know, I don't know if I've ever really thought about physical size. What?
Bigger than you will.
Bigger than you and Will, though. That's pretty, even put together, that's pretty big, isn't it? So big, he's everywhere. Okay. Says he measures the world with his forefinger, his thumb. You know, he looks down, we look like grasshoppers. You know, he sort of gives the imagery here. If you gathered up all the dirt in the world and made a big pile, God would still be bigger than that. So God is bigger than us, isn't he? Okay. What else is true about God? How about what does he control? Everything. All the governments. Are there any powerful leaders in government that God really worries about, do you think? Do you think God really worried about Hitler? Did he need to? Not really. He had control over all that.
Saddam Hussein died.
Saddam Hussein was hung. He had a lot of power. In the scan of things, though, he had a lot of power just for a little short time, didn't he? How long has God been in control? He's been in control forever. So, you know, we're talking about all-knowing, all-powerful, all-size. No way that we can see things like God sees them, right? It says he looks down, I think down in verse 22, it says he is enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers. So when he looks at us, you know, think about going, what's the tallest building you've ever been on the top of? Empire State Building. How many of you have been on the top of the Empire State Building? Okay, a few. If you look down, what do people look like? Tiny, 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 right? So that's kind of like when God looks down at us, that's how we look to him. Does that make us unimportant? Are we unimportant to God just because we look like little specks, do you think? No. He sort of set the whole world in motion and created it because he wanted to be with us, and the rest of the time he spent giving us a way to be redeemed, right? His whole plan, the whole plan for the world circles around, centers around us, doesn't it? Everything that God looks at and thinks about and does, it's all for us. Have you ever thought about that? It's all for us. That's all he's thinking about all the time. That's God's world scheme. Okay. Well, I don't know. I have no idea how much time I've got. Somebody tell me. Anybody got to watch on?
It's 9:15. That's right.
Okay. Got about. Okay. Well, I'm going to do that. Let's read the next verse. Read. Who has Isaiah 55:8-9?
I did.
Okay. Savannah. You'll be familiar with this one.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts.
Okay, the obvious question is, how are his ways and thoughts different from ours?
They're not sinless.
Because he's God.
They are sinless.
Okay, sinless for one thing. God can't sin, can he? Can we even sin in our thoughts? Sure we can. Okay, so for one thing, his thoughts are way different like that. How else are they different?
They're a lot smaller.
A lot smarter. I think so. What'd you say, BJ?
They're pure, simple, and complex all at once.
Pure and simple and complex all at once. Now that's deep. How can it be pure and simple? I mean, I agree with you.
I have no idea.
But you know, I have no idea even how to understand it.
Simple to him, complex to us.
Simple to him, complex to us. Maybe that's a good way to look at it. You know, we don't understand how he's working all this out and how he's understanding it all, and we just don't know, do we? And yet, in his mind, it's probably all just, oh yeah, well, this is what we need to do, you know. I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess, I'm sorry, I'm a math teacher, I think about these things. It's kind of like looking at a real complicated math problem. Like if you gave it to Mr. Sheriff, you know, a real complicated calculus problem over there at Hannah, he might go, yeah, I've worked a million of those, that's no big deal. But if I gave it to some of y'all that are in the 9th grade in Algebra 1, you'd be like, what is he talking about? You do that? So, you know, I guess, you know, that's just a real simple comparison, but that's kind of like how our thoughts are way different than his thoughts. Okay? What are God's ways? What do they mean when they're talking about God's ways? What are your ways?
Our ways are bad.
Okay, what you do in different situations, the direction that you choose to go in. Drew, I got the honor of teaching everybody.
I see that.
Aren't you thrilled?
They went to roles.
They want the roll. Hey, with me, give them the roll.
I want rolls.
Yeah, tell them we'll take the roll. Preferably with butter. Okay. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, God's way. We talked about how God's thoughts are different from our thoughts. Now the question is, how are God's ways different from our ways? You know, we see a problem, we decide on a plan of attack, right? Do we necessarily choose the same way to do something that God would choose to do it? No. Think of a problem. Not, you know, you don't have to be personal. Don't think of a problem that you have. Let's think about the girl in the video. What was her problem?
Her dad died.
Her dad died, and evidently she had to change schools. Is that what y'all
She
gathered?
had to leave the country.
Yeah, she was living in a third world. Maybe she was. Did I miss something at the beginning? Was she a missionary's child? We don't know. Okay. She was in a third world country. That's the only clue that we have, right? Okay. Can you imagine? Let's think of a third world country. How about
India.
Is India? I guess it is. India is rapidly coming up. Okay. Okay, there you go. Darfur. What if you were living in one of these countries? Your parents are missionaries. Your dad dies. You have to move back to the States and go to obviously some high school in some lockdown area of a town where they're sweeping you with metal detectors and searching your bag and everything. And where the people are not exactly what I would call friendly. Okay?
That was so cool.
Okay, that's her problem, right? How do you think, you know, what's the difference in what that girl might do and what God would do you think? What if, you know, it's hard to even think of putting God in that situation, but how would her approach be different from his approach?
God would be friendly and nice.
God would be friendly and nice.
He'd smack that girl to put that stuff on her face.
He'd smack the girl. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Okay. For one thing, would God be afraid?
No.
Do you think she was a little afraid?
Yes.
I would have been terrified. I had to change schools between my sophomore and junior year in high school. Scary. Totally scary thing to do. Went from a school where I'd gone with everybody for 10 years to a school where I knew nobody. And it was awful. And I was afraid. I didn't know, you know, who to talk to, what to do, which way to turn the corner. I was going to get lost. I was afraid of all that stuff. She had all those fears. Plus, she was in a totally different culture. You know, I'm sure. Do you think the girls in the country where she had been living were all wearing makeup and looking nicey nice? And do you think they were getting metal detected at school? I doubt it. I think she was not used to that, was she? Okay, but God would have known he didn't have to be afraid, for sure. He would have that assurance that she didn't have. Could she have the assurance that God had?
Yes.
Maybe not to the same extent, but can't we always depend on God to take care of us in those situations? You know, when God's got your back, you really don't need to be afraid of too much, do you? We forget that sometimes. God's right with us all the time. And he's there. All we've got to do is ask him to help us, and he will. I think she must have been a Christian. Do you think she was a Christian? But I didn't see her pulling on that very much. She was very unsure. She was what?
She wasn't standing for it.
She wasn't standing up. She wasn't using the assurance that God could have given her, was she? I think that's hard to do, though. I'm telling you, I had to do it. I didn't do it good either. It's hard sometimes, but we can if we rely on God and if we get used to relying on God like that. Okay? How else? What else would be different about what would happen? What else could she have done that maybe she didn't do? Or was there anything else? I think if she had gone into it more depending on God, she would have felt better. What else could she have done? Anything? I wanted her to speak up for the dead guy.
Yeah. I didn't get that.
Bruce is like you know, she just wasn't very bold, was she? Of course, I wouldn't have been bold either. I'm not really criticizing her.
That was so weird that
Well, I think, now, you know, I think we had to kind of figure this out. Okay, tell us what happened, Derek.
Okay,
This insight.
like he makes her sit in this desk, and the desk used to belong to this kid whose body had just been found, and they had not even buried him yet. And he was already replacing the desk for somebody else.
And I think the fact that her father had just died too, I think all that just kind of weirded her out, don't you?
I think that's
It's like, it was like no respect. I mean, it's like the teacher was already replacing him and he hadn't even been
Do you
there
think
yet.
the teacher did that on purpose?
No, gotta make room.
Yeah.
I think the teacher was trying to kind of get them talking about it, don't you think? Now, you know, we're all in the classroom every day. I know if I was in school and like somebody that was in my class on Friday was killed in a car wreck on Friday night and we all turned back up Monday and there was his empty desk, I think something needs to be said, don't you?
But I think that was weird because, like, well, from my experiences in school, I don't think people would absolutely know nothing about him and not like care. Like,
No, they
did.
just hard to
that
believe.
just seemed it seemed like not believable.
What happened?
Like they didn't even know his first name.
Oh, really? Oh, I remember when that happened. What'd you say, Sarah?
They didn't even know his first name.
I mean, that's not very.
But you know, aren't there kids in your classes everywhere that are sort of loners and that people don't really know very well?
Yeah, but it's
Well, you
not
know their name.
nobody.
Yeah, but I mean, that may be all anybody knows is just their name.
Oh, I know a lot of people by their last name only. I don't know.
And you know, even last month, I would give stacks of papers to people to hand out sometimes and say, here, pass those out for me. And I'd have to say,
Yeah, I know everybody.
so, you know, sometimes that
I'm not
happens.
name kind of person.
Okay, you're a face person.
I go off the last name.
Yeah, I reckon.
All right, well, we better read our last scripture. We're not going to get there. And that's Sarah, right? Romans 12, 1 and 2. Listen up.
And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind you will accept. When you think of what He has done for you, is that too much to ask? Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will know what God wants you to do, and you will know how good and pleasing and perfect His will really is.
Well, y'all probably know those. I would like to think those are very familiar scriptures to you. I had to memorize that somewhere back when I was in GA back eons ago. I hope some of you had to memorize that sometime along. It says, present your bodies a living sacrifice. What does that mean?
It means that you should give yourself to God and let Him use you in the way that He wants.
What was the purpose of sacrifices back in those days? Forgiveness, to atone for sins. Okay, how did that work? Do you know?
They killed animals.
They brought an animal to they would give an animal, they would either buy it or have one that they owned, and they gave that animal
They're giving something up.
right, exactly. So, yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
Like how, and I thought they did a really good point of it in the Nativity story, is what they did is like they like say it was a camel or something, or they would hold its ears or hold its horns, and they would like bow their head onto the animal's head and basically give their sins to it like that.
Exactly. They were saying, I'm giving this animal in place of myself. That's what they were saying. In place of myself. They would have to put their hand on it or in some way identify themselves with that animal before it was killed and its blood was put on the altar and the meat was cooked and given up to the priests and the sacrifices. Okay. So when we give our bodies as a living sacrifice, we're saying, okay, God, we're giving ourselves to you. Use us the way you want to use us, right? A living sacrifice. It said, I was interested, it said two things that had to be important about a sacrifice back then is that it had to be alive. Can't be a dead sacrifice. When they brought it to the temple, it had to be alive. I never really thought about that before. I always think about them, I guess, slaughtering a cow and throwing it over the horse and taking it down to the temple. But it had to be alive when it got there. The priest had to be the one to kill it. It also had to be holy. Holy. In what way would an animal, do y'all know what that means?
Like certain animals.
Yeah, like cows.
They would always make a big deal about how to be unblemished. They always wanted the firstborn male. If that was the best thing. You know, you couldn't give a deformed animal to God. You wouldn't take a pigeon down and use it as a sacrifice if its wing had been broken or something. That was not acceptable.
Weren't certain animals holy too?
Yeah, I think some animals were not acceptable, like pigs and things wouldn't have been acceptable as sacrifices. Well, let's say goats, cows, sheep. There were certain birds, pigeons, doves. Yeah, maybe not pigeons. Yeah, pigeons. I think we have misbehavior in the back of the room. Okay, so what does that mean for us that we have to be holy? How can we be holy? Can you be holy? I'm not sure I can be holy. Can you do it? Okay, exactly. The only way that we can be holy is by accepting Jesus as our Savior. His blood pays for our sins, right? Makes us holy. Otherwise, no go. It won't work. Right. The last verse that I want you to look at is the one that I hope you know. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not be conformed. That's hard to say to people in high school. You think we want to conform? I don't want to be the weirdo. I don't want to be the weirdo teacher on the hall, although probably I am sometimes. You know, but I know y'all all like to look as much like each other as you can, you know, do the same kind of things. Don't stick out in the crowd. You like to conform, don't you?
I'm an individual.
You're a rugged individual. All right.
You're unique, just like everybody else.
But y'all know what I mean. It's hard to be different. It's hard to be different. But it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. What's transforming? Changing. Somebody taught y'all that. I keep thinking there's a transformer going across the room, but it's different things. Do y'all know what transformers are?
Yeah.
They still have those.
Like where you make them into like a car.
Yeah, they're making a movie. I didn't even know.
They're making a movie about
like
the
how
transformers.
many commercials? Like,
Why
are they transforming?
Oh, I'll have to get my boys together and take them to the movie. Okay. Anyway, so God says, don't be like you've been being. Once you get Jesus in your life, then you should let that change you, change your mind, change your worldview. You know, where we live, where we go to church, whether we're an only child or the, you know, oldest brother of sisters or the middle sister of brothers or, you know, any of that, you know, they've done scientific studies to show that that affects the way that we think about things and do things. It affects our worldview. What else affects your worldview besides your culture and where you are in your family? What else?
Your friends.
Getting poked in the eye would affect your worldview. Okay. It's a little blurry.
Past experiences.
Your past experiences, okay? Do you think that girl whose father died, her worldview would start looking a little different?
Yeah.
I mean, I think she was questioning it, you know. She was saying, I used to think I knew, but now I don't have a home, I don't have a father.
She's like saying, do I believe anymore? I don't know.
Exactly. Do I believe anymore? She has to think about all that, doesn't she? Okay.
How you're raised, like how your parents raised you, what they teach you.
Exactly. I bet his worldview is different. He grew up a lot in Brazil. Don't you think he looks at things a little differently from the rest of us, maybe? I
Big
think.
culture amount.
I grew up in Memphis. I know all about Elvis. But you know, where you grow up, the friends that you have, the experiences you have, all of that affects your worldview. How should we shape our worldview? How are we going to change our worldview?
Make it holy.
How are we going to do that? Okay, let's say we've accepted Jesus as our Lord and Savior. I hope that's true for all of you. I don't know all of you individually. I don't know all of your situations. But I hope that's true for most of you, and I think it is. Is that enough?
No.
Okay,
I mean, it is.
once you accept Jesus, you become a Christian, right? Instantly saved, just like that. But then what happens?
You have to make an effort. You have to like put some.
It said, in my lesson, it says, becoming a child of God takes only a moment, but becoming like Him takes a lifetime. How are we going to become like God, and how are we going to get His worldview to match with our world?
Study His Word.
Study His Word. That's the biggest thing we can do, right? And by studying His Word, I mean read the Bible, obviously. Study it on your own. Listen to other people, like preachers and teachers. I'm not sure I'm a good example, but preachers and teachers can give you wisdom about interpreting the Bible, right? And all of those things, especially now. Y'all don't realize how important it is, especially now, for y'all to be doing those things. Really thinking about, where are you going? You know, I hope we know why we're here. God put us here, right? But where are we going? And which way, how do we want to get there? Don't we want our purpose for our life to match up with God's purpose for our life? Our goals should match up with His goals. What happens if your goal is different for your life from God's goal?
You don't do God's will.
You won't do God's will. Things will start going badly for you, don't you think? Because if your goal doesn't match with God's goal, maybe something's wrong. Maybe if things aren't going right for you right now, maybe you need to think about that. Am I doing what God really wants me to be doing? Is this God's goal for me? Am I trying to get there? Deep thoughts for the first of the year, aren't they? I'm glad that we started this new series of lessons. You know, I enjoyed, we worked our way all the way through the Bible. Did y'all know that? Did you realize that? Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to look at sets of lessons about certain topics. So I'm really interested in this that we're doing about worldview. I think I'm probably about out of time. Do y'all have any other prayer requests that you didn't mention this morning? Yes.
My cousin's wife last Friday had a heart attack and went in her leg and felt hard to pinch. So her legs too much.
Is she older, younger? Wow, that's early. Anything else, Carly?
Do a partner. You want to do a partner? We can be friends the whole time. No! It's for something we're doing.
Put your grade, and just so if you have like a name that might be a boy's also, put girl on it.
Have stuff to say because we have to divide up the teams evenly. Yes.
What's up, everybody?
Jordan, Fushi, Erica Roback, Deborah Manis,
Down,
Drop down. Get it up. Get it up. There you go. Good. Oh, I got you out.
What a face.
Point it down, point it down. What is it? Point yours down. Way down. Now go.
Happy New Year!
Make third. Hey, you gotta cross the line. You gotta cross the line. Yellow. Look, look.
That's what they're doing.
Those look, my armpits are deadly. I see this.
Alright, we gotta get this party started. Remember, if it drops, you start over.
Where's the other two?
Yeah, but she's got none in the No, she's only put it on one arm. You can't do two.
Well, they just told BJ he couldn't.
Well, they told me I could. They need to figure it out. You can't do two.
Alright, we're gonna go all the way back.
No, don't.
We're gonna go all the way back. Go back behind the line. There you go. Oh, no,
Go, go, go.
Erica's got it worked out. Look at that. Between your feet. You then have to take your tail, swing it, and pop the orange as Linda is doing so well. coordinated than Linda.
The bigger orange in the pantyhose.
Go! You're not allowed to be hit with the feet, gotta be hit with the tail. Come on, go.
That's just wrong. That'll wear you out. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
We don't have to worry about sweeping that far.
Keep going, keep going.
go, BJ, go! Got it going. Yeah.
two separate things again to give out, okay? So y'all be really nice and quiet so that you can hear your name when I call it, okay? I think we should get the gentleman in the lovely hat back there to come draw the name.
All right, Willie.
I remember his name is Willie. Willie is the special name drawer, and he might have your name, so let's give him a big hand. This is Matt's friend. I'm sure he has a really good name to draw. Okay, while he's feeling for the perfect name to draw, this drawing is for another $5 Panera Bread gift card. $5 of Panera Bread.
Sarah Moulton is not the winner. The winner is Nicole Barnett.
Okay, and this one is for Ruby Tuesdays, $10. Ruby Tuesdays, $10 gift card.
Your winner is Mackenzie Collins.
Two more major drawings, and then at the end of the night, everybody, like I said before, everybody gets at least $24 worth of gift cards to somewhere at the end of the night. Okay, every single person here.
What about that stuff you left at home on our dresser?
Oh no, that's mine. Okay. Okay, y'all listen.
Snazzy.
John is going to explain the next thing we're doing. Oh, hold on. Okay, we're not doing the pageant yet, but we do need to know who is doing the pageant. Who is going to be in the pageant? Everybody stand up who's going to be in the pageant. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? And Josh. Oh, Josh, I'm sorry. 5.
Josh is going to have $50.
No, that Garland's not doing it. Okay, so we have 5. Okay, you 5 gentlemen, look at me, you 5 gentlemen. You 5 gentlemen, you have to leave and go with Miss Morgan at 10:30. She needs to explain some things. And their sponsors. Okay? Okay, now everybody listen to John. This is the next thing we're doing.
All right, you should be, if you're not sitting with your team, you should be kind of relatively with your team. Is everybody kind of relatively with your team? Okay, this is the time you need to be with your team. All right, here goes. Here's what we need. We need 2 people from each team to come up here. 2 people from each team. Y'all decide. The people that come up cannot be the sponsor or the beauty pageant contestant. Cannot be the sponsor or the beauty pageant contestant. Spread out. 2 from each team. Somebody, how many do we have? Do we have yellow? We need another yellow. Another yellow. We need a yellow. Okay. We got 2 from yellow, 2 from blue, 2 from green, and 2 from orange. This is what we're doing. We are playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Now here's how it's going to go. I need everybody quiet. Let me talk. Because I'm only going to explain this once. If you lose because you didn't understand, that's your fault, not mine. Okay? Here it is. One of these people on your team will be the contestant. The other one will be the friend that you can phone. Okay? So here's the way it works. The first team to participate will have their 2 people up here. The one person that's the friend cannot answer unless a person asks. Okay? The other 6 people will be back in a room where they cannot hear us. Okay? And I need somebody to make sure that happens. Because it's the same game for all 4 teams. Okay? So here's what we do. Alright? We're going to do Millionaire. You have a phone a friend. And you have a 50-50. We cannot do Ask the Audience. Because obviously the green team would want to give the yellow team the wrong answer. So we're just going to zap that out. Now, the points right now are very close. Does anybody want to know the totals? Alright, let me just tell you. You've already seen those things. Alright, here are the points. 2 teams are tied with 2,750 points, and those teams are the orange and green. And the other two teams are also tied close behind with 2,250 points. Okay, blue and yellow. So this game and the next thing we do, which is Womanless Beauty Pageant, are worth more points. So this will make a considerable difference in the point totals. So it's very important to win this game. So here's what we do. We're going to ask each team, I need somebody back there to pick a number between 1 and 25.
10.
Okay, no, and it has to be a secret. An adult back there, okay?
Okay.
And each team is going to give their choice, and then that's how we're going to decide who goes first. Okay? Do we have a number? Okay, we have a number. Yellow, what's your number? What number would you like? 13 is yellow. Blue. 15. 17. 7.
The number was 7.
7. You go first. So 13 goes second, 15 goes third, 17 goes last. Remember that. Orange, yellow, blue, green. Orange, yellow, blue, green. I'll write that down.
Put it in that order.
All right. I need the orange, the yellow, the blue, and the green to get lost. Orange. Oh, blue? Yeah. Orange is first. We got rid of everybody? I need it quiet in the studio audience, please. What team are you on? Did you not go with the rest of the people?
I'll be back.
All right. Hey, everybody, right here. Right here are the point totals. If you give your team a hint or something happens, I start subtracting, okay? So there is no help from the audience. You got that? All right, and as I told these two, he doesn't have to use him until he wants to, but once he does, he doesn't get as many points as if he didn't use him. You follow me? So if we have a tie at the end, whoever has the least amount of helps gets the most points, okay? Y'all clear as mud, right? Alright, let's go, Mr. Chet, back there on the... And let's go with the first question. You can turn the music up too, I think it's on. Remember, no help from the studio audience. We're going to go through this.
Hey, John, where is it on the board?
Oh, it should be, I don't know. Alright, we ready? You can go ahead without the music. This is orange. All right. First question for $100, which you're not really getting $100. Just remember that. The Bible is made up of how many books? Just a second, they'll give you all the answers. A, 8. B, 12. C, 66. Or D, 544.
C.
Is that your final answer? Okay. All right, next question. Which of the following was not a plague of Egypt? Water turns to blood. Firstborn dies. Locusts. Or zits? D. Is that your final answer? Okay. I believe that's right. Yes. All right, keep going. the Bible, who wrestled with an angel? Adam? Jacob? Mary Magdalene? Or Hulk Hogan? Please, please, please. B, Jacob. Is that your final answer? Good. Alright, next question. You're moving on up. The book Song of Solomon is also known by what title? Song of Songs? Sing-along song? Song of Smooching? Or La Vida Loca? D? La Vida Loca? The book Song of Solomon. Okay. A? Is that your final answer? Okay. Yes. I don't think there's any Spanish in the Bible. That's I could be wrong. What is the first book of the New Testament? The New Testament. Genesis.
The boys are doing good. 21.
John, which would be a good choice. Matthew or Bob? C, Matthew. Final answer. Matthew, good answer. Next one. All right, we're at 1,000. Going for 2,000. Question 6. How many books make up the Gospels? Remember, you have a friend that can help you, or you have 50-50, where I'll take away 2 wrong answers. How many books make up the Gospels? 2, 4, 32, or 66? C, 32. Is that your final answer? Oh, 4. That's it. Thank you for playing. I need someone from the yellow team. Somebody want to go get them? Yeah, erase it. Hang on. Time out. Yeah, Bill's phoning a friend in his office. Is it ready to start over? Yeah. My bad. All right, you guys out in the audience. You guys in the audience, listen to my voice. You know the first 6 right answers. No talking. No talking. All right. What? We'll take points away. Well, no, we'll work it out later. That's not exactly the point, guys, because we're not giving away dollars. I'll take care of it, Jordan. Trust me. Thank you. All right, feel free to get a snack if you need one. Quietly. We'll have the yellow team in here shortly. Yeah, Hannah. Shh. All right, is this the yellow team? You the contestant, and you're the friend? All right, have a seat over there. You can only talk, you can only answer if she asks you, okay? All right, are you ready? You sure? All right, for $100. The Bible is made up of how many books? Hang on. 8, 12, 66, or 544? Okay, good. C, 66. Good job. All right, next one for 200. Which of the following was not a plague in Egypt? Water turns to blood. Firstborn dies. Locusts or zits. Which one was not a plague? D. Final answer? Okay. Yeah, she may get extra points for calling me sir. In the Bible, who wrestled with an angel? Is it Adam? Was it Jacob? Was it Mary Magdalene? Or was it Hulk Hogan? Sorry?
Jacob.
Jacob, is that your final answer? Okay. Good job. All right. The book Song of Solomon is also known by what title? A. Song of Songs. B. Sing-along song. C. Song of Smooching. Or D. La Vida Loca. Okay, good job. Song of Songs. All right. For 1,000. What is the first book of the New Testament? New Testament. Is it Genesis? John? Which that would be a good answer, John. Matthew? Or Bob? Matthew. Good job. All right. All right, next one. How many books make up the Gospels? You know already? What is it? Is that your final answer? Her final answer is B. Good job. What is the sixth book of the New Testament? Joshua? James? John? Or Romans?
D. Romans.
Your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Doing well. Which is not a book of the Bible? Numbers. Hezekiah. Zephaniah. Or Jude?
B.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. B. Hezekiah. Good job. It's about to get harder. Just to let you know. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God is found in John 3:16, Genesis 4:6, Romans 3:23, or 1 Corinthians 13:1.
C. Romans 3:23.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good job. All right. She's got 16,032. Who wrote the book of Proverbs? A. David. B. John. C. Moses. Or D. Solomon.
D. Solomon.
Final answer?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good job. Going for 64,000. Question 11. You're getting close to the top. Which of the following is not a translation of the Bible? American Standard? Revised Standard? Living Bible? Or Fellowship? Shh. Who was that? What team? What's your answer? Which of the following is not a translation of the Bible? You have 50-50, where I'll take away 2 of the wrong answers, or you have a friend sitting over there that may know. No, you can't ask him if he knows.
Do you know?
Shh. 50-50. Okay, I'm gonna, don't do anything back there because it won't take away. I'm going to take away 2 wrong answers. There is a translation called the American Standard, and there is a translation called the Revised Standard. So it's either C or D.
D.
What's your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Wise use of a 50-50. John finished the book of Revelation in approximately what year? It gets a little bit harder, people. Come on. 203 AD, 90 AD, 30 AD, or 2 AD?
C, 30 AD.
C, 30 AD. Is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Show us. No, D. Good job, man. Go to the next screen if you will, Chet. I gotta see where we are for sure. She answered the $64,000 question correctly in 125. Okay. She answered the 120. Okay. Next team. Next team. Very good. Yes, it is blue. Blue. Beauty contestants, you have about 5 or 6 minutes. Blue, 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 blue. All right, blue, here we go. Who's it? All right, here's the deal. Have a seat. Quiet on the set. He's your friend. If you need help, you can ask him. But you can only ask him. You can't say, you know it. Have a seat over there. Or you have 50-50, where I'll take away 2 wrong answers. Okay?
What's 50-50?
50. I'm going to take away 2 wrong answers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the first question is this. The Bible is made up of how many books? 8, 12, 66, or 544?
C.
Is that your final answer? Okay, good job. Which of the following was not a play of Egypt? Not. There's a key word there, it's not. Water turns to blood, firstborn dies, locusts, or the all-famous pimples. It's
D.
D. Final answer? Okay. Good job. Final answer?
D.
Final answer? Okay, good job. All right, number 3.
Where's your case? Where's the Taylor knows how to talk.
The Bible, who wrestled with an angel? Who wrestled with an angel? Adam? Jacob? Mary Magdalene? Or Hulk Hogan? Who wrestled with an angel? You can ask him. Yeah. Is that what you're going to do? Okay, he's going to ask a friend. Come up here, Zach. You tell him the answer, not me. You got 20 seconds.
Is it B?
Is that your final answer?
I guess so.
Yes, it is. All right, Zach, you go sit down. The book Song of Solomon is also known by what title? A. Song of Songs. B. Sing-along song. C. Song of Smooching. Or D. Living La Vida Loca.
It's A.
You sure?
Yes.
Final answer.
Yes.
All right, good job. All right, for 1,000, which is the first book of the New Testament? Genesis, John, Matthew, or Bob? First book of the New Testament.
I think it's B.
John?
Yes, I guess so.
You want a 50-50 or you want to ask? No, you want a 50-50 or you want that to be your final answer?
50-50.
Okay. Bob and Genesis are the wrong answers. It's either John or Matthew.
Oh, okay. I'm going with C.
C. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
He goes Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. How many books make up the Gospels? And you have no helps left. Ooh. 2, 4, 32, or 66?
C.
C. 32 books make up the Gospels. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Do you know what the Gospels are?
No.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. He says C. The answer is B.
Okay.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Okay.
Nice try. Good. All right. We can go get green. Go sit down. Let's see how far we went there to make sure, please. Bring him down. All right, thank you. All right, one more team left. It looks like the yellow team is doing the best so far. Are the beauty pageant contestants calling? Oh man, y'all are in for a treat. Bill, there's about 4 dresses in Linda's closet now that I will never let Linda wear again because I've seen them on my son. All right, this would be the green team. All right, who's the contestant and who's the phone friend? All right, Nicole, you sit down over there. You can't say anything unless he tells me that he wants to ask you. Have a seat. You can ask. You sure this is the way we want to do it? Yes. Okay. For $100.
Hang out.
First question is, the Bible is made up of how many books? Where's Nicole? 8, 12, 66, or 544? Final answer? Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Yeah, 66.
Okay, final answer. Good job.
Okay.
All right, next question. Which of the following was not a plague of Egypt? Look at it again. Not. Water turns to blood. Firstborn dies. Locusts or zits. Which was not a plague?
Here's the
Final answer? Okay. Good job. All right. Moving right up. For 300. In the Bible, who wrestled with an angel? Who wrestled with an angel? Adam? Jacob? Mary Magdalene? Or Hulk Hogan? Beat Jacob. Final answer? Good job. Jacob. Alright. For 500. Question is, who's your daddy? Question. The book Song of Solomon is also known by what title? Song of Solomon, known by Song of Songs, Sing-Along Song, Song of Smooching, or La Vida Loca? A Song of Songs. Final answer? Okay, good job. Alright, next question. For 1,000. What is the first book of the New Testament?